Your personality is your greatest asset. It's not your bank balance, not your looks, not even your intelligence. Your personality decides how people respond to you and how opportunities find their way to you. So how do you improve it? Daily. Start with awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. Be the observer of your own behavior. See how you walk into a room. Watch how you speak when no one is watching. That's where change begins. Next comes discipline. Personality doesn't grow by accident. It grows by intention. Read books. Listen to thinkers. Be around people who stretch your thinking. You don't become better by being around the same kind of noise every day. You rise by upgrading your inputs. Improve your vocabulary. Not just the words you use, but the tone in which you use them. You can say the right thing the wrong way and lose everything. But say the wrong thing with grace and you might still win trust. Smile more. Be warm. Be curious. Not because it's a trick, but because it's human. And let's talk about posture. Yes, posture. You can't carry a defeated body and expect to speak with confidence. Stand tall. Walk like you mean it. Even if you don't feel it yet, act like it. Eventually, belief will catch up. Then comes the magic ingredient, consistency. A little bit of growth every single day. Not leaps, not sprints. Tiny, intentional steps, a refined word here, a patient tone there, a lesson learned and applied. Improving your personality isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the best version of who you already are. So don't wait for a big moment. Start today with the little ones. Because if you improve just 1% a day, in a year, you're a brand new person. Personality is a daily investment. Not a one-time decision. It's not something you wake up with and expect to carry through life unchanged. It's shaped by what you feed your mind, how you speak, how you react, how you grow. You grow. Some people think personality is fixed, set in stone by birth or by early years. But the truth is, it's fluid. It adapts. It sharpens or dulls depending on what you do with it. Every conversation you have, every book you read, every experience you choose to learn from, that's an investment. You either build interest on your character or you let it decay from neglect. You can't expect your personality to stay magnetic if you stop growing. Stagnation weakens influence, but when you commit to learning just a little every day, you become more interesting, more composed, more powerful without ever having to shout. This is why the most impactful people aren't always the loudest. They're the most consistent. They've invested in the habits that refine them daily. Habits like self-reflection, reading gratitude, listening more than they speak. They ask better questions. They think before they respond. They carry themselves with quiet confidence that's earned, not borrowed. And it didn't happen overnight. It happened from thousands of tiny deposits made one day at a time. So today, ask yourself, what did you add to your personality? Did you learn something that made you wiser? Did you show patience when you could have reacted? Did you express kindness when it wasn't required? These are the small acts that multiply over time. They don't make headlines, but they build legacies, because your personality isn't about impressing others. It's about becoming someone you're proud to be. And just like any investment, the earlier you start and the more consistent you stay, the bigger the return. So don't wait for a big moment. Today is enough. Start where you are, with what you have. And keep building. Awareness is the first step to self-improvement. You can't change what you don't recognize. You can't fix a pattern you don't see. That's why growth never begins with action. It begins with attention. Attention to your thoughts, attention to your words, attention to how you show up in the world. Most people move through life on autopilot. Same routines, same reactions, same mindset. And they wonder why nothing changes. But change demands that you pause. It demands that you observe. Observe how you speak under stress, how you treat people when they can't offer you anything, how you think when no one else is around. That's the raw truth of who you are. Not what you pretend to be, but what you repeatedly do. And when you start seeing it clearly and honestly, you're already growing. Because awareness creates choice. You begin to notice the gap between who you are and who you want to be. You start to catch yourself in moments that used to pass unnoticed. Moments where your tone was sharp, where your patience ran thin, where your ego took control. And suddenly, you have a choice to repeat the pattern. Yeah, or to break it. That choice is where transformation lives. No one else can make it for you. It's yours, and it comes from awareness. And here's the power in it. Awareness turns your life into a classroom. Every day becomes a lesson. Every interaction becomes a mirror. Every mistake becomes a teacher. You stop blaming others. You stop running from feedback. You welcome truth even when it's uncomfortable. Because you know that every truth you face gives you leverage over the person you were yesterday. And that's the goal. Not perfection, but progress. To be just a little more aware today than you were yesterday. Because awareness doesn't change everything all at once, but it changes everything over time. And it all begins with the courage to look inward, not outward. The courage to ask, what part of this is mine? That's the first real step. Not the loudest, not the flashiest, but the most powerful one of all discipline and intention-shaped personal growth. Not motivation, not luck, not a perfect plan, but the simple act of showing up with purpose, even when you don't feel like it. That's what builds the person you want to become. Discipline is doing what needs to be done when you'd rather do anything else. It's waking up early because you promised yourself you would. It's saying no to distractions because your goals matter more. It's doing the small, boring, consistent work that no one applauds because you know that's where the real transformation happens. Growth doesn't come from bursts of energy. It comes from routine. It comes from order. And most of all, it comes from intention. Intention means you don't just go through the motions. You don't just live on autopilot. You decide how you spend your time. You decide who you become. Every choice you make adds up. What you say yes to and what you walk away from. What you allow and what you correct. Growth isn't random. It's a result of inner direction, a result of structure repeated over time. It's brushing off comfort and stepping into challenge. It's facing the mirror and asking, what would my best self do right now? Then doing it. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, even if it's just one small task, because one task done with intention is worth more than 10 done without it. Discipline and intention aren't glamorous. They don't always look impressive. But they're the invisible engines behind every strong, wise, and grounded person you admire. They're the difference between dreaming and becoming, between potential and power, and they don't happen by accident. You build them by deciding every day that growth matters more than comfort, by remembering that consistency beats intensity, and by showing up for yourself long after the excitement fades. Because that's when it counts the most, when no one's watching, when it's not easy. That's when discipline and intention shape not just your days, but your destiny. Improve your communication. Words and tone both matter. You can say the right thing, but if your tone is off, the message will land wrong. You can have the best intentions, but if your delivery is careless, people will misunderstand you. Communication isn't just about what you say. It's how you make people feel when you say it. And that comes down to awareness and care. Your words carry weight. They can lift someone up or tear them down. They can create trust or destroy it in seconds. They can open doors or quietly close them. So speak with purpose. Think before you respond. Don't rush to fill silence with noise. Speak less, but say more. A calm, clear voice often speaks louder than the one that shouts. When emotions run high, your tone becomes more powerful than your argument. People remember how you made them feel more than what you said. So make it your mission to speak with clarity and respect. Not just when things are easy, but especially when they're not. The real test of your communication is how you handle tension. Can you stay calm? Can you stay kind? Can you stay honest without being harsh? That's the skill that separates good from great. Listen more than you talk. Most people don't listen to understand. They listen to reply. Be different. Be the one who actually hears, the one who pauses, the one who reflects before reacting. Because understanding others begins with making space for their words. And when it's your turn to speak, choose wisely. Don't just aim to be right. Aim to be helpful. Aim to connect. Because connection builds influence. And influence is the real power of communication. You don't need fancy language. You need sincerity. You need awareness. You need to match your tone to your values. Whether you're speaking to one person or a crowd, bring your full presence. Be intentional with your message and your energy. That's how you improve communication. That's how your words start to carry impact. And that's how you build relationships that actually last. Posture reflects confidence. Carry yourself with purpose. Before you speak a word, your body has already spoken. People read your presence long before they hear your voice. The way you walk into a room says more than you think. Shoulders back, head high, eyes forward. Not with arrogance, but with quiet strength. Not with ego, but with self-respect. Your posture is a signal. It tells the world how you see yourself. And more importantly, it tells your own mind the same thing. Stand tall, and your thoughts follow. Slouch, and so does your energy. There's a connection between how you hold your body and how you hold your beliefs. You can't carry yourself like you're defeated and expect to think like a winner. So start with how you sit, how you stand, how you move through your day. Or are you rooted in who you are, steady and composed? This isn't about appearance, it's about alignment. The outside matching the inside. And if the inside isn't confident yet, the body can lead the way, because motion creates emotion. Act like the person you want to be, and your mind will begin to believe it. There's power in deliberate posture. It grounds you in moments of stress. It centers you when life gets loud. It reminds you that you're capable, even when your thoughts say otherwise. Carrying yourself with purpose doesn't mean pretending. It means choosing presence over panic, strength over slump. It means walking into every room with the quiet belief that you belong there. Even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, you still show up with intention. Because posture is not just about your body, it's about your message. And your message is clear. I know who I am, and I'm becoming better every day. So carry yourself like your goals matter, like your time matters, like your life is worth showing up for fully. Because it is. And it starts with something as simple and as powerful as how you stand. Upgrade your inputs, books, conversations, and environments. Your mind is like a garden. What you plant in it will grow. If you feed it noise, you'll grow confusion. If you feed it wisdom, you'll grow clarity. Your inputs shape your thinking more than you realize. You can't expect sharp thoughts from dull content. You can't expect powerful decisions from weak influences. So start by upgrading what you read. Choose books that challenge you, that stretch your thinking, that push you beyond comfort. Not just entertainment, but elevation. Books are mentors you may never meet, but their lessons will stay with you forever. Next, look at your conversations. Are you surrounded by people who inspire growth, or by those who drain it? Words are energy. Some lift you, some lower you. Be mindful of who you allow into your mental space. Talk with people who speak in goals, not gossip. Ideas, not complaints. Vision, not limitation. Because the people around you influence the person within you. And then consider your environment. Where do you spend your time? The music you listen to, the content you scroll through, the habits you repeat when no one's watching. Clean your space. Declutter your digital world. Create places that breathe clarity, not chaos. Even small changes have a big impact. Light a candle, open a window, turn down the noise. Make room for focus. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. And the first part of that design is input. You don't become better by accident. You become better by what you consume, who you listen to, and where you spend your energy. So choose wisely. If you want to rise, your input must rise first. Because your future is built on what you allow into your mind today. And when you raise the quality of your inputs, you raise the quality of your life. Warmth, curiosity, and kindness are magnetic traits. They draw people in without force. They create space where others feel seen, not judged. In a world that often feels cold and transactional, these qualities stand out. They are not signs of weakness. They are signs of strength. To be warm in a hard world takes courage. To be kind when others are bitter takes depth. And to remain curious when it's easier to assume takes wisdom. Warmth is the quiet welcome in your smile. It's in how you greet people, how you listen without rushing. It's the soft edge in your tone that says, you matter. People don't remember everything you say, but they remember how you made them feel. Warmth leaves a mark that words can't match. Curiosity is what keeps relationships alive. It's asking instead of assuming. It's choosing to understand before you react. When you're curious, you're not just waiting to speak. You're actually listening. You want to learn something new, and people feel that. They trust it. Because curiosity says, I value your experience. Kindness is powerful in its simplicity. It's the extra second you take to hold the door, the compliment you didn't have to give, the encouragement when no one's watching. Kindness doesn't require grand gestures, just presence, just heart. It's a quiet force that lifts everyone it touches. Together, these traits form a presence that people don't forget, not because you were the loudest, not because you were the smartest, but because you were real, you were present. You gave something of yourself without needing anything back, and that creates trust. It creates influence, not through control, but through connection. You don't need to impress everyone. You just need to be human, genuine, grounded. Because at the end of the day, people are drawn to those who make them feel safe, valued, and heard. And if you bring warmth, curiosity, and kindness wherever you go, you'll never need to chase attention. It will find you. Because who you are will speak louder than anything you say to act how you want to feel. Your mindset will follow. It may sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful tools you have. Because emotion often follows motion. When you sit still in doubt, doubt grows. When you move with purpose, confidence begins to rise. Your actions shape your state of mind more than waiting for a perfect feeling ever will. If you want to feel confident, act with confidence, even if you don't fully believe it yet. Speak with strength. Stand tall. Make eye contact. Walk with intention. Your body teaches your mind what to believe. If you want to feel motivated, don't wait for the spark. Start doing the work. The momentum creates the motivation, not the other way around. If you want to feel grateful, start expressing gratitude. Write down what's going right. Jot down what's going right. Say thank you more. Smile on purpose, because your actions are the soil and your emotions are the growth. Too many people wait to feel ready before they move, but movement creates readiness. Energy builds when you lean into it, not when you avoid it. If you want to feel peaceful, act with calm. Breathe slower. Speak softer. Simplify your environment. The mind will begin to match the pace you set. This is not about pretending. It's not about faking anything. It's about leading your emotions instead of following them. You don't have to feel like a leader to lead yourself. You just have to act like the version of you you're aiming to become. One step at a time. Even small choices matter. Getting out of bed when you don't want to. Taking a walk instead of scrolling. Having the hard conversation instead of avoiding it. Each decision tells your mind, we're in control. And the mind listens. Over time, it adapts. Your habits change. Your self-image changes. You no longer wait for confidence. You build it. You no longer hope for a better mindset. You lead it. Because you chose to act even when it was uncomfortable. And in that act, you became stronger than the feeling. That's where the real shift happens, not in what you feel, but in what you choose to do in spite of it. Consistency is more powerful than sudden transformation. Big change might look exciting, but lasting change is built quietly, day by day. Most people wait for the perfect moment to flip a switch and become someone new. But it's not the big leap that makes the difference. It's the small step you take again and again. Success doesn't come from what you do once. It comes from what you do consistently. One workout won't transform your body. One book won't change your mindset. One act of kindness won't redefine your character. But done daily, those same actions become powerful. Because repetition builds identity. Every small habit you keep is a vote for the person you want to become. And over time, those votes add up. Slowly, quietly, but undeniably. That's why consistency beats intensity. Anyone can have a good day. But who are you when the motivation fades? Who are you when it gets boring or hard or slow? That's where consistency lives. In the ordinary, in the routine, in the uncelebrated moments. But those are the moments that shape your future, because consistency builds trust with yourself. When you show up even when it's not easy, you start to believe in your own strength. You build momentum. You build resilience. And you realize you don't need massive change to grow. You just need commitment. It's not about being perfect every day. It's about not quitting when it gets tough. It's about choosing progress over perfection. Because small gains stacked daily become massive results over time. So stop chasing the dramatic. Start honoring the steady. Show up for yourself even when no one else sees it. Keep the promises you make in private. That's where character is built. That's where mastery begins. And that's how transformation truly happens. Slowly, but permanently. Not in a flash, but in a rhythm. In a discipline. In a choice made over and over again. Consistency doesn't always feel exciting, but it always produces results. And over time, those results speak louder than any burst of inspiration ever could. Daily 1% improvements lead to a radically better you. Not overnight, Not in one giant leap, but in small focused steps that compound over time. You don't need to change your entire life in a day. You just need to be a little better than yesterday. That's it. One better thought, one better decision, one better action. These small improvements may seem invisible at first. They're quiet, they're simple, but they're powerful because small gains repeated daily multiply. They turn into habits. They reshape your identity, and eventually they change your results. 1% better each day doesn't feel like much in the moment, but it adds up faster than you think. In a week, you feel more focused. In a month, you feel more confident. In a year, you've become someone you barely recognize in the best way. The key is patience, because most people give up when they don't see instant results. But growth that lasts is rarely loud. It's built in the unseen moments, the decision to read instead of scroll, to speak with kindness instead of reacting in anger, to wake up on time instead of hitting snooze. 1%, one choice, and over time, those choices change your direction. Improvement is not about perfection. It's about persistence, even on the hard days, even when progress feels slow. Because you know that each day is a chance to grow, a chance to level up, a chance to build momentum. If you aim for 1% better every day, you won't feel pressure to be perfect. You'll just focus on showing up consistently, intentionally, and that's where transformation lives. In the ordinary, in the repetition, in the small. Greatness doesn't come from what you do once. It comes from what you do daily. And if you commit to getting just a little better every single day, there's no limit to how far you can go. Because over time, that 1% becomes everything. So don't chase perfection. Don't wait for the big breakthrough. Just focus on becoming 1% better every day. Because real growth isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things, consistently, patiently, and with purpose. Small steps, steady effort. And over time, you won't just improve your life, you'll transform who you are. One day, you'll look back and realize that 1% wasn't small at all. It was everything.